Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think you will remember that this matter had been raised in the last meeting by the Honorable Nduli, the Chief Whip, where he was putting before the committee a question in terms of the jurisdiction or the authority of this committee to be able to deal with classified information. I think the point that he was raising was one that said, I'm not sure, Chair, I see Honorable Carla Barnett has her hand up. I'm not sure if it's a point of order, if I should proceed.
Yeah, you must proceed. She will speak when the slot comes for her party to speak.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So the issue was around whether we are empowered to deal with classified information. The committee in its deliberations and amongst others in deliberating the issue of how we would handle such classified information, given the fact that the Republic does have legislation that deals with how classified information should be handled, we agreed that we would use or would utilize or look to the Parliament's protocol on the handling of classified information. Now, we've since received that protocol from Parliament, which, amongst others, it raises very clearly that Parliament's protocol, firstly, relates to information that originates within Parliament. So like all organs of state, Parliament is expected to develop a protocol on how it will handle classified information that arises within its environment, not within any other state organs. So we want to make a point that firstly, that protocol only deals with the information of Parliament. Secondly, the protocol from Parliament is very clear that it also aligns itself with the minimum information standards, which, as we know, the minimum information standards are the Republic's National Information Security Policy. Now, if you were to go into the MIS, which this protocol is supposed to align to, and indeed does align to, not give us the authority to be able to receive, to consider, to handle classified information. I believe that I may not have MIS in front of me now, but in Chapter 4 of MIS, where it speaks to classified information and who may have access to classified information, amongst the things it raises is that only those who have the necessary security clearance may handle classified information. And secondly, that only where there is a need to know basis established, then that classified information may be made available in whatever form. Now, Chairperson, that's not a decision that we can take, nor does the Parliament's protocol on the handling of classified information confer upon us the locus standi to deal with any classified information at all. In fact, the minimum information standards go so far as to say the only people who can reclassify, I think even declassify, because I remember Honorable Mateus had said we should look at declassification of classified information. It is only the originators of that information. So we can't sit in this committee and take a decision to reclassify classified information. My last point in this regard, Chairperson, is that the National Assembly, based on the directive of the Speaker, had established or had at least instructed the JSCI to investigate matters related to the intelligence services and, by necessary implication, classified information as well. And I suppose the point that we're raising is that when you look at page 5 through to page 6, and where it makes a provision, or at least it outlines what the protocol says around classified information, that cannot arise in this committee because we simply just do not have the authority or the locus standi to deal with that classified information. Our recommendation is that in the terms of reference, we can continue to say there that we will align with Parliament's protocol on the handling of classified information, which arises within the environment of Parliament, but we would need to then engage with other state organs, whether it is the SAPS, whether it is any other intelligence service that we believe can make a decision on whether to reclassify their information for us to engage with. But at this point, we just simply do not have the authority to do so, and we would not want to then undermine or subvert the law by seeking to handle classified information in this committee. Thank you, Chair.
So what you are saying is that the minimum information security standards is the overarching legal framework or the national piece of legislation that regulates the access to classified information.
Yes, indeed. That is what I'm saying, Honorable Chair. And then
and,
over
and,
and above it
and
is
then
that
number two, that Parliament has established a protocol which is also subject to that legislation.
that is correct, Chairperson, yes.
And so I want you to clarify the last part, which is number three, to say, now that we are a committee of Parliament, and we may want to have access to some information, what is the suggestion of the ANC? What do you suggest must be done? Do we request? Do we apply? What do we do?
Chairperson, I think you will know that the Intelligent Oversight Act is very clear that the only committee of Parliament that may consider classified information or have oversight over the intelligence services is the JSCI. Now,
Yes.
there are two proposals that we've got on the table based also on what Honorable Matthies had said and having read the miss. One is that we may, the committee may, request classified information from the relevant state organs, but as that legislation is clear that it is their decision, we cannot compel it. Or secondly, as and when such information arises that we need to be considered as part of this inquiry, it is then referred to the JSCI in line with the resolution of the House. Thank you.
Your suggestion, what you are essentially saying is that whatever procedure that we may follow to request or to apply for access to that information must comply with the MIS, the minimum information security standards.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Okay. And is that what you suggest, that it must be included in that paragraph to reinforce it?
Yes, Chair, I think that from paragraph, sorry, I don't have the paragraphs in front of me now, but where we start speaking about Parliament's protocol on handling of classified information, that is only in relation to information that emanates from Parliament. But any information that is held by any other state organs, we need to apply for it or alternatively refer to JSCI.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. The MKP.
Thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, when it comes to this, I think Honorable Matthias has said it, that if there's any information which has to be declassified, that will be done. Because this issue of us having some red lines, you know, is problematic because it means other issues as well. And I guess perhaps initially we're supposed to have a joint sitting with the intelligence. But because this is where we are to now, I guess that we'll be able to deal with these matters as they come. Because, you know, General Mkhwanazi, what he has done, because they'll tell you that it's unheard of a provincial co-commissioner like these people who were trying. You heard them. I don't want to mention their names here. They were not happy at all because they said it didn't follow the protocols and these red tapes, you know, because government by its nature is bureaucratic. You know, now it made things easy for us all. Let's deal with these matters, difficult as they are. If we have to have that classified information, let's find ways, whether, you know, legal, but we need to make sure that justice is seen to be done on this committee. We cannot hide anything here. Things has to be there. The public wants to know exactly what happened, what is happening in this country. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, you essentially agree with what Honorable Sangoni is saying, and the last part that you have said is a stated intention of the committee that we will leave no stone unturned. The DA.
Thank you, Chair. I sit on the JSCI, so I have top secret security clearance. And there's no possibility that the JSCI will sit with another committee, because anything they discuss has to be, no one in the room may sit there unless they have top secret security clearance. I don't think there's any way for this committee to instruct that information that is classified be declassified. I can't see that happening. An attempt can be made, but it may well be rejected. So already the JSCI has gone through their process of interviewing various of the participants in this matter and have put together a report which has gone to the Speaker. Whether that report be redacted and declassified is up to the powers that be. But it's not a case of hiding anything. It's a case of protecting matters that should be protected in this country and kept away from certain individuals who would possibly use it against the country. That's what it's about. So I fear that classified...
help us, Honorable Bar. Let's not go to the merits of the argument. The question that I have asked is whether if we want access to that information, do we request or do we? And I hear you saying we can't instruct.
Yes.
So I want you to help us to refine the paragraph. If we agree that such information will be requested, let's just agree that within the legal framework that is in place in the country, the committee will make an application to have access. As to what the decision is, I mean, once we go to discuss whether it will be rejected or it will be granted, we are off the rail. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do indeed. You see, for example, 2.12, it says there is a process for handling classified information. It's not all classified information. It's information that comes from Parliament that has been classified, not other classified information, which may relate to many of the issues that have already been investigated by the JSCI. So that classified can't stand as is. It should be classified parliamentary information. I think may make more sense there.
Yeah. But here the guidance from me. I want us to, when we leave this paragraph,
yes,
let's leave it with a common understanding that says there is a law which is called the Minimum Information Security Standard, which is applicable in the Republic and is an overarching piece of legislation regulating access to classified information. And
I read the protocol, yes.
Where we work in Parliament, there is a protocol on access to classified information. And that protocol is subject to the MIS law. And so honorable members here are saying, Honorable Barnard, where we may need access to information that is classified, what then becomes the procedure? And that's why I say, if your suggestion is that through the office of the Speaker or whatever authority is allowed by law, the committee will make an application to have access to that information. Does that make sense?
Yes, I have, if an item can be declassified and the application is made and it is declassified, perhaps in a redacted version, that would be absolutely acceptable.
Look, as to the form of the declassification, that is not our competence. That will be done in accordance with the law that is in place.
Indeed.
What is needed on our part is just to make an application and specify what is it that we request.
Yes, I think the request would be for declassified information, and that would
Thank
then
you.
be perfectly acceptable to be discussed by this committee. Yes,
Thank you so much. Are you done with the input?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you. EFF?
Thank you, Chair. And my favorite former chairperson, EFF, when we make recommendations, we do our homework. So at no given time did we ever say that the committee must declassify documents. We were very clear that the committee we actually used the word facilitate, and only if it is classified documents that are going to assist us in meeting our mandate. So we were clear on that, and I think we spent 30 minutes on something that we didn't need to. We're all on the same page. What we wanted captured in the terms of reference is that the committee will, if the need arises, because we can't have documents classified that is covering up criminality. We even went as far as saying that if a document has been classified, we want intelligence or whichever necessary entity to at least tell us when it was, to see that if it had any relation to perhaps something that we are investigating or looking into the committee. So I think we're all on the same page. We spent 30 minutes discussing something that we didn't need to. As a committee chair, we together, we must just be able to, if the process or if the need arises, we must be able to use the apparatus available to us to get documents declassified so we can fulfill our mandate. We cannot have documents that are classified that are covering up criminality. And that is what we are raising very sharply and very decisively as the EFF. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. I think you were very loud and clear, and you are right that we spent a lot of time in the last meeting on this matter. The IFP. IFP. The PA. The PA.
Chairperson, yeah, I think we all agree that there is a difference between declassifying and declassifying of confidential or classified information. That's one separate process on its own, and access to or viewing information that has been classified. So the way we read it is that we are saying that if there's classified information that can assist the committee in the work that we should do, then there should be protocol around accessing such information. When we read the chapter 1 of the minimum information and security standards, chapter 1, subsection 2, let me read 1 as well. It says the need for secrecy and therefore security measures in a democratic and open society with transparency in its governmental administration is currently the subject of much debate and will continue to be so for a long time. However, the issue need not be controversial since the intended Open Democracy Act, not yet promulgated at the time of going to press, itself will acknowledge the need for protection of sensitive information and therefore will provide for justified exemption from disclosure of such information. Just as a note to say that we agree with that kind of posture, to say that if this is going to assist the committee, then there should be protocol around how do we access information that has been classified, as opposed to declassification. So we agree with the protocol around how do we access such information, especially information that will assist in us investigating the veracity and the extent and the implications of the allegations made by General Mkhwanazi. Thank you, Chair.